That's what
Okay, 7:12. So we will call the meeting to order. For the council meeting of Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. I just want to let everybody know that this meeting is being recorded for the purpose of being posted up on the Township YouTube channel. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. In the spirit of reconciliation, the Township of Nipigon respectfully acknowledges it is located on the traditional lands of the Red Rock Indian Band, signatory to the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850, and also the historic presence of the Métis. So we'll start with item number 1. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 2. Approval of the previous minutes for November 22nd, 2022. Resolution 182. Do we have any discussion or questions about the minutes? I see none. Resolution 182 moved by Councillor Zechner, seconded by Councillor Sakamoto, that the minutes of the meeting of council of November 22nd, 2022 are hereby adopted as reported by the clerk. All in favor? Carried. Passed. Okay, next item on the agenda under finance, confirming and approving of accounts, which would be resolution 183. Any discussion?
Your worship, if you could just read who moved and who seconded, and if it's been seconded, then we can go into discussion.
Okay. So resolution number 183 moved by Councillor Pelletier, seconded by Councillor McKenzie, that the accounts, payment of accounts is listed on the following payment voucher deed, and the same is hereby confirmed and approved. Payment voucher number 39, 2022, $32,614.13. Payment voucher number 40, 2022, in the amount of $295,966.24. All in favor? Passed. Carried. Next item, Ontario Provincial Police Billing Workshop. Is there any discussion on that item? Councillor Sakamoto?
I just saw there were 2 letters, but they both said that there was, the date was December 6th. I didn't see the second date that they talked about.
Right, I noticed that too, but there was the second date, I believe, was in the subject heading. On the second email, yeah. December 14th at 10 a.m. Yeah, it wasn't, but you're right, it wasn't in the body of the email, it was the subject. They just missed that, I guess. Okay. So this is just an opportunity for learning about the billing with the OPP and how that all works. And so they had a session on December 6th, which is today, and another one on the 14th. So that's something that can be attended by one of us. Okay. Any discussion on that? No. Okay, and we'll move on to the next item, which is the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation correspondence. Okay, so basically this is just a newsletter from MPAC with information about 2022 property assessment notices, basically just information. Is there any points, questions, discussion on that?
Yes, I'd just like to ask our CEO, Kelly, where do we stand as part of the process with impact now, or we haven't received the assessments yet?
Received it this morning.
Sorry?
We just received a new role this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Was that what I was on the news, Kelly, last night about how they're gonna be putting more costs down to the people in regards to like access to lots and stuff like that? On the news last night about, and a lot of municipalities aren't happy with it.
That's further on in your agenda,
Okay, so,
under other municipal resolutions. That's all part of the More Homes Faster.
yeah,
Very complicated legislation.
yeah, okay, that's it.
Anything else on that? So that was just for information, so we'll move on to item number 4, recreation. So this is a dog park proposal. Submitted by, Sandy Elliott. And, I believe that this is under recreation, so I believe the way this should probably go is that it would be sent, to the recreation committee for discussion. And then brought back to council afterwards. So is everybody in agreement with that? Okay, so we won't be, discussing the proposal and all that kind of thing until it comes back from recreation.
So this will be set right from here to recreation then? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And item number 5, economic development. First item is Edge Arts minutes of September 14th and November 16th. Are there any questions or comments? Yeah, Councilor McKenzie?
Yes, Your Worship, there, I was just, it's really nice to see, the minutes of the meeting for the Edge Arts. And I really encourage them to do that, on an ongoing basis. And I think it also would be helpful for council if we had a listing of things that have happened, like in the immediate past, and things that are proposed. So that, we get a listing, oh, this has happened in the last month, in the month, or, oh, this is what's on our agenda for, this month or the next month.
So I just have a couple, comments. So, these are a little bit old, like I said, from September 14th. So a lot of these items have already happened. So that was good to see. And, now, so it also says that I believe that the funding is up for this in March. So just wondering if administration can tell us if there's a plan in the works for some more funding.
We've already applied. We're just waiting to hear for funding for 2023, which should be very soon.
Okay, which program is that, your help?
New Horizons Senior Program.
And that's what the current funding is through as well, I think, okay?
It's our second goal already with the funding. We're applying for a third round.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. Item number 2 under economic development is Superior Country 2021-2022 annual report. And we actually, I believe we have executive director Dan Bevilacqua here from Superior Country. So I don't know, Dan, if you'd like to say anything about the report you want to point out, or?
Sure, annual report was provided to all of our members, with the municipality of Nipigon being one of them. Some key points of interest within it are the reach that we received through all of our marketing channels. In essence, we spent roughly $200,000 to $300,000 advertising the region, which had a direct benefit to all the municipalities along the North Shore. One of the most well-known things we do is the promotion of the Lake Superior Circle Tour, which is also a part of the report. If anybody has any additional questions, I'm always available. But very happy with our numbers, very happy with the outcome over these past 2 years. And I did recognize, I was watching the council meeting, about 2 weeks ago. You guys had mentioned looking at a land asset management plan for your harbor. We have completed, and have worked with Silver Island Harbor Association and Rossport Dock Association in doing plans like that, as well as strategic plans. So if at any time the Nipigon Council or administration would like to get in contact with me, we've learned where to access funds to get those plans completed, as well as how to access the funds after those plans to complete the work. Both Silver Island and Rossport are working within those plans now and have been very great strides in building up their harbors. So Superior Country, as always, is here at your disposal in terms of marketing and tourism product development. So if at any time anybody would like to ask anything of me, please use us.
You want to have any questions for Dan?
I'll just make a comment. Thank you for the document. It was very interesting to read and helpful to give me an understanding of what you folks do. Because I may be involved with trails and I see that you have a lot of connections with trails. I may try and connect with you in the next month or two and get up to speed on possibilities for better.
Absolutely, I look forward to that.
Anybody else? Yeah.
I had a couple of questions, comments for you there, Dan. I concur with Kathy. It was a really good report. Thank you very much. And just, does your work conflict with Tourism Thunder Bay at all?
Actually, we work in great synergies with Paul Pepe and Tourism Thunder Bay and his team. In fact, Tourism Thunder Bay was a key component in us operating the municipal accommodation tax with the Township of Terrace Bay. In terms of marketing, I have a great relationship with Paul and his team, and we have a lot of synergies in what we do. Definitely no duplication, and we're always looking for ways to work together to market both the region and Thunder Bay as a gateway. Thunder Bay is a part of Superior Country, so we do market Thunder Bay as well as the region.
Okay. I noticed under cruise developments, is Nipigon going to be a part of this? This North Shore Cruise Readiness Plan?
Absolutely. Nipigon is a key component. Linda Burby, a member of your administrative staff, has been a part of the process and is on our steering committee. The cruise ships themselves, we are looking at bringing in or attracting 2 different cruise lines as of right now. We will have one coming in the fall of 2024, and then Viking is interested in coming along the North Shore next year, up to 11 times coming east of Thunder Bay. Nipigon will be a part of the process. However, the boats, the Zodiacs that come from the cruise ship to the marina, will not be disembarking in Nipigon. They would disembark in Red Rock. Superior Country is in the process of developing numerous packages to offer the individuals on the cruise ships for different sightseeing, hiking, guiding, things like that. And we are looking at definitely including Nipigon in those packages, where we would see like a bus leave from Red Rock, pick people up and come down here. For instance, they could go to the museum, paddle to the sea park, to the Bridgeview Lookout Tower, things of that nature. We're definitely looking to increase the economic benefit in the way we can to each community along the way, not just where the ships will be disembarking.
Okay. I noticed also, like you talk about a superior skiing experience, and I didn't really see Nipigon in that notation there. And we do have a very active cross-country ski trails here at the golf course, and I'd certainly like to encourage you to promote that as well.
That is in our Superior Ski campaign is just one of our many marketing campaigns that we'll be running in conjunction with our winter marketing campaign. Within there, Terrace Bay and the Township of Nipigon actually each purchased the social media marketing package So there's 2 articles being developed specifically for their hills. However, we have multiple other articles that are being advertised digitally along with those that do include Nipigon and the cross-country ski trail that you're mentioning, absolutely.
You know, our CEO can correct me, but I know, I believe Enbridge funded something to the tune of about $80,000 for some amount of money. And you know how much they,
It was an Exbridge,
Nextbridge,
and
sorry.
they funded $50,000 for ski trail.
Okay, yeah, so I mean, we've had significant money put into the trails development. Thanks for that, Kelly. I just got my bridges mixed up.
Yeah.
The other thing too, I really, was interested in is, tourism and students. We have, you know, we had our tourist information, facility here for years, and we had students there, and sometimes, you know, they were familiar, and lots of times they were not familiar with what was going on, so I was really, really happy to see that you're putting an emphasis on tourism for, you know, for student staff, for summer staff. Yeah. And as far as the management plan for the harbor there, personally myself, I'm hoping that we can start a waterfront development committee or something along that line. And certainly would like to work closely with yourselves and Linda, you know, in that endeavor there. So if you can kind of keep us in mind, I appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
You also have any questions for Dan? Okay. Thank you, Dan. All right, next on the agenda under economic development, we have a letter that was drafted by Councillor Sakamoto. Want to discuss your letter and what that's about, and
Okay, what I'm proposing is, I've heard lots of rumors about the lithium mines. Going up Highway 11 in Berkeley Road area. I understand there are a lot of companies up there. I took the time to see Northern Development Mines in Thunder Bay to just ask about the mines, and Rock Tech is significantly ahead of the rest, but they haven't started their environmental assessment process yet, which could take a number of years to work through. But they have their companies in Germany that they're connecting with to make batteries. I believe they heard on the news that they've set up their shipping location in Thunder Bay. So all I was suggesting is just writing them a welcome to the area letter. Saying that we're going to be starting our strategic planning and would be interested in knowing what needs they might have for our community. And maybe we can work some of that into our strategic plan. And the needs could be anything. It could just be our more business for our businesses. But it could be some hoping that they could find some place for some of their staff to live. So I had drafted, I don't know if I need to read out the letter or.
I don't think so. That's
Okay,
you got that.
so that's the gist of it.
Does anyone have any questions or comments?
No, I think it's a great idea. I mean, any new company or business coming to town should get a letter, but I think we're kind of missing the first thing that needs to be done and with these type of letters that they want to, if that's the way we're gonna move, is I believe they should be sent to your businesses, your companies, your First Nations, your tax base before anything to get any knowledge moving forward our strategic plan. I mean, they could have some input, but they're not actually local, and we should be starting at the bottom with our, like I said, businesses, companies, and First Nations.
Oh,
If there's letters to be drafted, that I believe that's what they should do.
And I think I think confused. I'm thinking of, like, we used to have a paper mill, we used to have a plywood mill. Yeah, this is a potential company outside of our area that might want to come in and spend some money.
Absolutely.
Are you thinking?
No, I'm just thinking that that's fine,
You should-
but we should make sure if you're gonna send a letter to a company like Rock Tech, your letter should be sent to all your local taxpayers that are running business companies and First Nations.
Oh, just to let them know that we're contracting Rock Tech.
let them know that they might wanna have some input on our strategic plan. If we're gonna say
Ah,
a letter to Rocktown.
okay, just so I understand.
Yeah. So, so I think there's a little bit of confusion there. I understand where you're coming from. And when we do go into the strategic plan process, absolutely, there will be, you know, ads out saying everybody come, not just businesses, but townspeople and everything. But I think, that is what Councilor Sakamoto is saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that could be included in the letter. But I think the main point here is because they're early on in their process right now, and I think it's a good idea to make contact with them, just because it does take a long time to, not just in like with the strategic plan, but it does take a long time for them to sort of understand what their needs will be. And I'll tell you, when I'm dealing with, when I've dealt with, investors in the past, as you know, when I've dealt with investors, in my current position, a day job, when they're, you know, for housing, for motels and things like that, they're always asking, I was always under the impression that they would be asking, what are your numbers for tourism? What are the counts at your tourism information center? What's the traffic that goes through? But what they want to know is, what is your industry? What's your anchor industry? Right? So if we're going to, investors are coming to us and saying, we want to put a motel or we want to put an apartment building here, but what's your anchor industry, so that we know we can fill it? Maybe Rock Tech and similar corporations, not just Rock Tech, but this could be something that we can do with larger corporations that are in the area. And so they can let us know, we're expected to be open by this, we're expected to have 400 people, we're expected to have all this stuff. So we have that information from them that we can tell investors that are contacting us, right?
I'm so kind of hoping in other communities, Red Rock could be in there with a big sales pitch right up front. So I'm thinking the sooner we just get in there and set up some sort of communication, maybe a benefit to our town.
And show that we're interested, right? We know they're there and we're interested in doing business with them, for sure.
Yeah, and I did notice something that was incorrect in my letter. I said we are the closest town to your retention line site. McDermott is probably closer. So maybe the word south.
You're more like closer. Yeah. Yeah,
Or-
so
or
mine
it is-
is, it's right across from Black Sand Park is where it is. So the
I
nine.
thought it was up the Gorge Creek Road.
Right across from them. I'm not across from Sandpoint, there's a 9 feet
So
road
it's
is
not
not.
where,
There's people exploring up the 81 too. I mean, up the gorge, but they're not as far as well.
oh, Rock Tech.
Yeah. In fact, they're putting roads and everything this year, so that'd be a good idea to get that letter out, because just to show that we're interested in people that coming into town, maybe they'll pass it off to all the contractors they're gonna be bringing in to do the get the work done.
We don't want to be shy. We want a piece of that pie. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Okay, any other discussion about the letter? So we're okay to move it on going down.
Yes, I support the letter. I mean, like, what happened when the ballot came through? You know, all the monies that were generated and funds that were spent here, and the accommodations locally and everything, so that's support the letter.
Plan, and then we can notify our businesses.
And let them know what's available.
So,
Is it gonna be sort of a generic letter, basically to any business that we do a special, like 3 each time? Okay.
I don't anticipate there's gonna be a full load of
Well,
corporations.
There's another one they're talking about mill coming around here.
Yeah.
So I mean,
We'll make a special letter for them.
other ones all are like scriber talks, there's lots of stuff, so.
Yeah, it's exciting time.
Yeah.
Okay, so, maybe, so you have the subject matter knowledge and it'll be coming from me. My name will be on the bottom, so maybe we can work on it and then we'll send it out to you guys for input. That's not okay. Thank you, Councilor Sakamoto. Item number 6, there's under the fire department, we have Ontario Power Generation Fire Agreements. So, this is basically maybe CO Pac 9, and you can just explain this probably better than me.
Just a fire agreement that the Ontario Power Generation pays towards the Nipigon Fire Department for fire protection services. It's usually a 3 to 4 year gap. And it's based on the auto X rates that the MTO set. So if there's a fire out there, there's an expectation that our fire department will attend Cameron Falls, Alexander Falls, or Pine Portage Falls.
So it's basically a fee for us to provide fire.
And there's a
fire-
flat rate that they provide as well. They pay a contracted amount that's laid out in the contract itself. And then they also pay a different rate for it. We actually have to attend it.
Any questions or discussion? Councilor McKenzie.
I was just gonna ask John, you're knowledgeable of the fire department there, I see the increases to 2025 from 19,000 to 21,000 a year. Is that gonna be sufficient, you think?
I believe it is, that's, fire department's fully paid by the taxpayer deputy. There is no dedicated funding for any fire department, so that's covering, a new part of what our coverage to the fire department is per year. I believe it started off around 30. It's increased.
It increases every year.
So, I don't know where they came up with that figure, but it definitely helps, put it that way.
I was just thinking, the increased cost for training and all that kind of stuff, the burden on volunteer fire departments, I don't know, we should be asking more for it. I'm not sure that, I don't know that.
Maybe I don't know that our provincial government.
I don't know that file.
Anyone? I just have a question. So that money that we get, does that go into the big pot or does that go towards the fire department? Like just.
It goes into the big pot, but it helps with the
Yeah.
fire department.
The fire department typically spends a little more than that a year.
I imagine.
Some years need.
Okay, so, we have resolution number 184, and we need a mover. This is to pass the, fire agreement. So resolution number 184 moved by Councillor Sakamoto, seconded by Councillor Zechner, that this council hereby approves the mayor and the clerk to enter into a fire agreement between the corporation of the Township of Nipigon and the Ontario Power Generation Inc. that expires on December 31st, 2025. All in favor? Pass and carry. Number 7 item on the agenda under planning, community of adjustment bylaw amendment. Is there any discussion? So this is involving the committee of adjustment. So, Kelly, can you just explain this a little bit?
It's the committee of adjustment. We deal with land, with applications for land severances, consents. It's a legal body that's not, directed by council, but actually directed by the Planning Act. We've had 2 hearings this year already, with possibly a potential 1 early next year. So it's a planning committee.
So this is to appoint the committee, and then for their term.
Yeah, the committee's laid out in section 3B with their term.
So December 31st, 2025. Is there any discussion, questions? No? Okay, resolution number 185, moved by Councillor McKenzie, and we need a seconder. Yeah, would you like a second? So moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Pelletier, that leave be given to introduce a bylaw to appoint a committee of adjustment. that the bylaw be read a first and second time, that the said bylaw be read a third time. Finally passed and numbered bylaw 1917 of the Township of Nipigon. All in favor? Okay. Passed. Okay. Number 8, sundries, township committees. So, we've gone through and looked at everyone's availability and, what they would like to be a part of for committees of council and mayor. Are there any discussions, questions, comments?
Go ahead.
One little question about the trails committee, and you may have the history, Suzanne, I don't know if anybody else will. The trails committee is connected to the economic development, and I totally get why from the tourism side. In terms of local people, was there ever any discussion about connecting it with recreation? I don't know if there'd be any benefit to it, or if that doesn't really matter. But we certainly have a lot of people that use the very local trailers for daily recreation.
Yeah, do you have any opinion about that, Kelly?
It's a subcommittee. All it means is that the minutes will go to the committee, that's the committee of council. So,
Okay. I didn't-
yeah, so a subcommittee can't give recommendations to council. They're not a committee of council. So the trails would go right now to economic development. That's why the Edge Arts minutes are in there, because they're subcommittee. You don't approve their minutes. The economic development committee will take their minutes and move them up because they're not a committee of council.
I don't, anyone else?
Yeah. So really, Kelly, they're more or less an advisory committee.
Advisory, yes.
Right.
Where the
So
others are.
they can make advice, they can say, we would recommend such and such.
And then bring it where it can be vetted through EDC again, right? And then if EDC wants to pass the recommendation based on the Edge Arts minutes, they can.
Okay. Right. Yeah, I had a couple of things, maybe Pierre and I should have an arm wrestle, who's gonna be doing more.
You can go.
Are you sure, like?
No, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you're fine with that, you know, I didn't.
I'm already-
Step on your toe there. Okay, well then, if that's what you are.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
There, maybe, you know.
Yeah, I sent it thinking.
Yeah. Okay, and, Your Worship, just, I'd like to, move on with another subcommittee, waterfront development. And, I talked to yourself, and I talked to our CAO, and it seems like there's some support there. And, with council's blessings, I'd like to start on that, yes.
So probably the best practice for that is to bring it up at the Public Works, because it'll be a subcommittee of Public Works,
Okay.
right? So bring it up there and the Public Works can pass a resolution for the next council meeting to advertise for waterfront. We did this just before COVID. We advertised for a waterfront development committee, we have one person interested. So
Okay.
if you go through those means, then the recommendation will be passed to the council and do that advertising.
Yeah, okay, thanks for that, yeah, that's a good idea, and then, like, I know people that are interested, that may want to sit on it, so. Yeah. So, okay, so we'll bring that up at Public Works, this is a good idea, thank you.
I'm kind of interested by Councillor Sakamoto's recommendation of having the trails moved over to recreation.
Well, I was not necessarily moved.
Okay.
I was actually asking because I think you were involved in the original
Mhm.
planning that was done. Was that ever discussed?
No,
I haven't connected.
it wasn't, no.
Okay, but I think probably at this time we'll leave it where it is and see where the committee comes up.
Beneficial to read out the committees for the president.
Yeah, I'll do that. It's a resolution, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't have a
Sorry.
choice. Okay, so, if hearing no more discussion, we'll go to, resolution number 186, moved by Councillor Zechner, seconded by Councillor Sakamoto. That this council appoints the following, council representatives on each committee of council. Recreation Committee, Councillor John Zechner with Mayor Suzanne Kuko as the alternate. Cemetery Committee, Councillor Gordon McKenzie. Planning Advisory Committee, Mayor Suzanne Kuko. Nipigon Public Library Board, Councillor Gordon McKenzie. Economic Development Committee, Councillor Sakamoto and Councillor Pierre Pelche. Museum Committee, Councillor Gordon McKenzie. Public Works Committee, Mayor Suzanne Kuko, Councillor John Zechner, Councillor Catherine Sakamoto, Councillor Gordon McKenzie, Councillor Pierre Pelche. Finance Committee, Mayor Suzanne Kuko, Councillor John Zechner, Councillor Catherine Sakamoto, Councillor Gordon McKenzie, and Councillor Pierre Pelche. Fire Department Committee, Councillor John Zechner. And also appoint the following members of council to the following subcommittees of council. Green Committee, Subcommittee of Public Works, Councillor Catherine Sakamoto and Councillor Gordon McKenzie. Trails Committee, Subcommittee of Economic Development, Councillor Catherine Sakamoto. All in favor? Passed and carried. Okay. The next item under sundries B is Nuclear Waste Management Organization. So I think that is just an update on the nuclear waste management and the processes that they've been going through over the past several years. Any questions or comments on that? It's just informational purposes, I believe. Okay. Anything else? We'll move on to the Thunder Bay District Social Services Administration Board, so DSAB. Housing and homelessness prevention information. Do you have any questions on that or comments? Councilor McKenzie.
Yes, thank you. It seems like the emphasis is going to be on housing and homelessness prevention. And I don't think it's going to happen this year, perhaps not next year, but in discussion with our CAO, there may be an opportunity for some more housing in the Bell Street Center. Either 3 or 4 more 2-bedroom apartments or something like that. So I just want to make sure that we keep that particular project on the radar. And I'd certainly like to work closely with council and with our CAO to maybe bring that forward. I know James Bowles and myself, I did a lot of work on that, and we've got a building that there is a need. I believe there was a survey done that had indicated that. So I don't know if like the emphasis seems to be on homelessness currently with DSAP, but that may shift a little bit to for affordable housing for seniors and others.
Yeah, it says here 46.3 million allocated toward community housing and homelessness prevention program too. So there is a housing piece in there. So that's okay. Item D, Ontario Good Roads Association 2023 conference board. So just some information on the Good Roads Conference, something that our council has usually participated in. I believe it's happening for 4 days, April 16th, 19th, 2023 in Toronto. And there's also a call for nominations for the board of directors. Any discussion or questions about that?
I know it's kind of early, but in the past I have attended the Good Roads conferences, and this would be one that I would really like the opportunity to attend.
Yeah.
With the support staff, and any inroads that we can. But it's still a long ways away, so.
How many people usually, how many council members usually go to this, Kelly?
I'd encourage all of you to go. This is probably the best conference for you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That is a long time away, but we'll keep that in mind for sure. Next on the list is Association of Municipalities Ontario, so AMO, board watch file. So. This is, again, just for informational purposes, sort of a newsletter from AMO. Are there any questions or comments from council? Next, we have Northern Ontario Municipal Association, board meeting. And a summary report for, November 23rd, 2022. Okay, does anyone have any questions or comments on this?
There's also gonna be a normal meeting, later on this year, and I think we should all do that. I know in the past, that's gonna be a good one. I don't know what your experience was, John, but I thought it was really worthwhile because it focuses on northwestern Ontario and the needs here. So, and it'll be close, it'll be a Thunder Day, so expenses won't be that great. And,
Is that the normal board meeting?
not the board meeting, but the actual AGM or whatever.
They have good speakers and reading.
Or the AGM will,
They run it all.
so we'll make sure we get the date on that, so we can, it is close, like you said, so probably beneficial if all of us who are available can go. So if anyone has any other comments about that, I'm just gonna make a comment here. So they were, I believe in here, they were looking at the discussion points that they're gonna take to Roma. And one of them is the transportation, which is good. I would imagine that would be the snow clearing and all that kind of thing, in light of the 2 deaths that just happened recently on our, near us. I think it's really great that we have this association that's out there and speaking up for the north and for those types of things for sure. So they have a stronger voice together. We have a stronger voice together than just, one of us going in and talking about that stuff. So it's good to see that they're discussing that at Roma. Okay, so we have we have other municipal resolutions. So that would be. Is that in reference to the Norfolk or the town of Norfolk's and the town of Aurora's opposition to Bill 23?
Yep, it's resolutions from 2 other communities.
Okay, does anyone have any questions or concerns about those requests for resolution? So it's actually the Norfolk County and the town of Aurora's opposition to Bill 23, More Homes Built Faster Act. So this is something that we've all heard in the news lately that's quite controversial. And so they're asking us to support their opposition today. Councillor Sakamoto.
I just had a question, again, learning, I wasn't sure if we have ever supported these kind of things. When I look at them, there's a lot of environmental legislation that's being belittled or gone around to do that, and these communities are taking a stand up in the environment. Do we normally just read these, or do we add our support to them in some way?
Scott, can you address that one?
We support, it's up to council what they want to support. And so if you want to support their opposition to this type of bill, that's up to council whether you decide to or not.
So by doing that, it's just us writing a letter as well, saying we support what they're saying.
Yeah, we forward saying we support Norfolk County and Aurora's opposition to Bill 23. and it's added, and then at the end, I think they all say that it's sent to MPs, MPP, ministries and stuff, and Nipigon's name gets added to that. We've supported this in the past numerous times. But it's coming to a head here. You're gonna hear lots about it at Roma and all conferences right now, because it's very complicated. There's a smoke screen where it says More Homes Built Faster Act, but it's also the Strong Mayors Act, which there's a huge opposition to. There's a lot of stuff in here that there's all kind of tangled together. And I think it's part of NOMA's as well. I think they have something in there too as well regarding Bill 23.
Do we have a mover?
I move, we support that.
And the seconder?
And your worship, but unfortunately, I don't know enough about that class to second it. Perhaps if I had more information on it, I would feel more comfortable with it. I know our CEO has indicated that it doesn't look good. How is it gonna affect us in the north? I'm not sure, maybe our normal meeting will give us a little more information.
I have read and seen that, we think about the environment and all that kind of stuff, and we think of them taking like trees down and things, but I think in southern Ontario, what the issue is they're going into the green belt, which is actually the farmland, which is where we get our food from, or Ontario, we grow food anyways. So with our food security issues, getting food from China and Peru and all these other places, personally for me, I think that it's not a good thing to destroy more of our fertile farming lands. And we should be building up and not out down there especially, and taking away our land to grow food on for our country and for export as well. It's probably not a good idea.
I find we're having a hard enough time probably Southern Ontario putting rules on us up here that I don't feel we should be putting it on them down there. Like, we're turning around every time, we're getting one right after another against the north, so. I don't know enough about it either, like Ward said, to make an adequate response.
For reading these letters, I feel the same. I went over them multiple times and I had a conversation.
So, I would be willing to second this and put it to a vote, and if it doesn't go, then
You
don't
can't
have
second it.
No,
You're the chair of this.
okay, okay. So
You're
we
the
just
tiebreaker.
decide. So that took care of I as well. So, now we're moving on to item number 9, any other business? We'll start to the left here and we'll start.
I don't have anything.
You got nothing,
No.
okay.
Hopefully next.
So,
I don't have anything either.
Councilor Sakamoto? No,
Okay, I just had a question for our CAO. So I got this little notice in the mail from our MPP. Is she still coming to visit us?
I have not heard anything.
You haven't heard anything, eh? Okay, because we received, she was thinking of coming on a certain date and we haven't heard that. The only other thing I'd like to mention is we had a really good turnout for the CP train and success for the food bank. And there was, there's hot chocolate that was served and there was music and it was very well attended. I even saw people pass late. Also, it was a really good thing from our community, and it brought out some true community spirit. So that's the only thing I wanted to mention.
I just have a few things here. I want to thank staff Kristen, Mutual, and Deb Rowley for organizing a wonderful Christmas party. I think they did it pretty quick. So congratulations to them for putting on a good party. And I also want to congratulate Naomi Tashet for being Citizen of the Year. She's a wonderful lady, and congratulations to her. It was great to see that her family was able to come out and see her get the award as well. Further to Councillor McKenzie's comments, it was great to see all the people out for the holiday train. It's the first, two events have been skipped, but it's actually the first time in 3 years that the holiday train has been live and in person. It was a wonderful night with the snow falling and everything. And, again, I'd like to, thank, staff, Kristen Dutel and, Sumi Segura, and Councillor Sakamoto, who, gave out the free hot chocolate this year. So, thanks for braving the cold and doing that. I also want to thank, the food banks in town, both the Baptist Church Food Bank and the Nipigon Food Bank. I was reading that the economic, or the executive director of the RDA, in the Thunder Bay region, said that usage of food banks in the region is up 20% this year. And some food banks have actually tripled in the service that they've done. So I just want to thank the volunteers, that work with food bank as well, putting together all the hampers. And I was talking to, one fellow who volunteers for the Nipigon Food Bank, and he said they were working for 3 solid days putting together hampers, just not stopping. So kudos to them for doing the work. And thank you to CP Rail for the $5,500 donation. And thank you to the Unitudes for singing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's you, sorry, I didn't say that too early. And yeah, that's all I have to say. All right. So. Resolution for 187, moved by Councillor Sakamoto and seconded by Councillor Zechner, that this meeting do now adjourn at 7:49. All in favor? Passing.